Generally, iconography is based on texts. It's based on Sanskrit texts, and usually the Sanskrit commentaries to those texts, and also the later Tibetan or Bhutanese Mongolian commentaries. Now that's for deities. People are a different matter. If we take, for example, Padmasambhava, Padmasambhava is thought of as a living person who, or manifesting as a living person who's actually an emanation of Avalokiteshvara and Amitabha. He's also considered by the Nyingma tradition as the second Buddha of this age, and he can appear in many different forms. So he's really personified into being a deity. So he's not just appearing in his main form as a human with a furrowed brow, a bit of a mustache and goatee, wearing a feather hat, holding a katvanga, holding a vajra and a skull cup with a vase. He's not just that, he's many other things as well. But we do have this main form of Padmasambhava, described mostly, as I have said, but also with three gestures, either holding the vajra in front of his heart, or raised up to the right side, or held down above the right knee. We have slightly different ways of depicting the main form of Padmasambhava. But where do we find the information that explains how this form actually appears? Well, this can be a little bit difficult because this information is found in the Tibetan ritual texts. Not all of us have access to all of these ritual texts. Also, there can be different explanations as to the meanings of his feather hat, of his vajra, skull bowl, the katvanga staff that leans against his left shoulder, the three heads that are depicted on the katvanga staff, and the other ornaments that are on the staff, and the ribbons. And what about Padmasambhava's layered clothing? What does that mean? And how does that relate to the three vehicles of Buddhism? So all of this is information that can sometimes be hard to find. So what I'm introducing you to is a publication that I find useful called Tantric Practice in Nyingma by Khetsun Sangpo Rinpoche. It's translated by Jeffrey Hopkins. It was back in 1982 and published by Snowline, I believe. So this publication presents the uncommon preliminary practices of the Nyingma tradition. And in there, when it talks about the Guru Yoga practice and the Guru Yoga visualizing Padmasambhava, then Khetsun Sangpo Rinpoche gives a lot of very, very good, very interesting detail, which informs the artists, and it informs the art that you and I will eventually look at depicting Padmasambhava in his main form. So press the like button. You can join HAR on Patreon, and you can also make a donation on the Himalayan Art Resources homepage.